Hey YouTube, this is Wrestling Amusement Park Fan 62. First of all, happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. Hope you have a great time with your loved one or your special somebody or something like that. Now, Six Flags has announced three rides are going to get taken out in their parks. Not every park is going to have ride. It's just certain parks. One ride is getting taken out first at Six Flags St. Louis. Excalibur is getting taken out. So, what does this mean for that? Well, the thing about this is they put a lot of money into that over the past couple of years. Um, so, I'm not sure the fate of that ride for sure, just because of the fact that they just put some new things in it in a few years ago. Um, so, but what can I see in its place? Now, theme park um, predictions did a video about this, so go check that one out as well. So, what can I see in its place? First of all, I could. First of all, he said a giant Zamperla discovery, and I agree with that because that is one of the things they don't have at Six Flags St. Louis that most of the other Six Flags have. Is a giant discovery or any something like that. And that's basically pretty good because they could just keep the concrete circle in the middle, so then all they have to do is build around it. So that kind of saves them a lot when it comes to the aspects of it. Uh, so all they would have to do basically is do the footers and stuff like that for it. They could, as far as the lines are, like the cube is concerned, they may would have to tinker that slightly. Maybe add like a permanent cube kind of going out. But other than that, um, I agree with that. Now, also there is a rumor of a family-based coaster going in where the go-karts were by the boss. That is actually not a Skyline attraction. So that is going to be an interesting ordeal to see. Now, that's all I know about it. Next is the Harley Quinn Spinsanity coaster at Six Flags Over Texas. Now that got put in 2018 along with the one up at Great Adventure. Um, the problem with that ride in particular is it is a maintenance nightmare. From what I've heard about the one at Great Adventure, at least it's down more than it was open. So I can see why they're taking it out. Now, from the area, it looks like there is a decent plot of land. So they could do one of a few things in that plot. Honestly, they could put like a small coaster in there of some sorts if they wanted to, or put a few decent sized flat rides. Um, Now the problem with that area is, in particular, it's um, not that big. So they would have to come up with something small. So if I had to guess, something like a Zamperla Air Race would work because they have one just south of over Texas at Fiesta, Texas, um, and then maybe something else in there. Now, speaking of Great Adventure, um, their tower ride, their parachute ride, is getting taken out as well. Now, what does that mean for that? Um, Honestly, I think it's probably just because of old age and the fact parts are probably becoming hard to find for it. Because I think it was over Texas or Fiesta or one of those Six Flags parks had something similar, and it went down a few years back. So I think it was just a matter of time with that one. So what does that mean for that space? Now, if they would take out the top spin next to it, which I think is one of a few top spins that are still out there in existence, um, honestly, that could mean that is a good plot of land to do something. Now, I'm not saying put in like a Giga Coaster or RMC T Rex, but you could put in a good size attraction. Um, Now, I'm not entirely sure what Great Adventure needs when it comes to, let's say, flat rides and stuff, but if you want to get the general idea of where this is at, in Great Adventure, this is over by Superman, um, the flying one. So, but it's going to be an interesting ordeal because what does that mean for a lot of these rides going forward as well? Honestly, I think it's just with Excalibur, I think it's just they're probably just going to scrap it and get money out of it just because while they did put a decent amount of money into it, it's just probably it just takes a lot more work to get it up and running than probably um, a season than what it's worth at this point. Because it's I think the only one out there in existence. Parts are probably really hard to come by, and or they have to make them, and that's very expensive. Um, with the Harley Quinn Spinsanity, I think with that, that's just probably due to maintenance, basically saying, you know, it's just a nightmare to keep up and stuff like that. Now, as far as the parachute one, I would think it's probably because of maintenance problems, but I'm not entirely sure. So I want to hear from you. What do you think would be best for Six Flags for these parks as well as these spots that they're going in?